Greetings! Today is the 23rd of March 2014. My name is Ranbaw, also known as the Artrix, and you're watching episode number 10 of the Artrix Art and Vlog show. In this episode we'll have a look at a mid-effort piece, or a few mid-effort pieces, one of which is a really badass Rarity wielding two Magnum guns. They're more like revolvers, so yeah. It came out surprisingly well, so link is in the video description and click it if you want to see it in its full glorious detail. There's also Kenny Soda, which is the official mascot of Galacon, which is a brony convention that's being held annually in Germany. And there is Button Mesh, and this character is relevant for what this episode is about, which is the recent development around Gen animations. If you are a fan of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and you have not been living on a rock, then you have seen one of his animations. Gen Animations is the mastermind behind, and also animator behind, things like Buttons Adventures. There's also the Don't Mind It Night video. There is the Picture Perfect music video. I think that was one of his first major videos. In other words, he's a pretty big guy in the whole brony community, so to speak. I actually met the guy. He's a pretty chill and down-to-earth fellow, quite humble as well. Really, he's a pretty likable character, so this is not really what this video is about. Unfortunately for Jen and the community at large, something bad happens. I think it was last night, maybe the night before that, but it was quite recently. Long story short, Gen Animations got a cease and desist from Hasbro, or at least one of its third parties, to take down all his videos, basically. And Gen Animations has complied. As of now, all videos that are related to My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, have been removed from his channel. Gen Animations not been the first one to be hit by the CnD hammer from Hasbro. One notable example is the Fighting is Magic game. Somehow there's a quote tribute version out now, but still, Hasbro does CnD quite a lot, and I think it has mostly to do with the sheer size of the fandom. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate to see this stuff go. Like, there's some amazing creative stuff coming from the fandom, but the fact of the matter is that Hasbro has to do this. That's how retardedly complicated the law is. I mean, the cease and desist letter from Hasbro was pretty clear cut on this. It basically said, okay, we recognize that there is fan art and that they really appreciate the efforts that go into it, but at the end of the day, they are a company, they are, you know, in to make money, and they have this corporate identity, this product, and this trademark they have to maintain. To be quite honest, Gen's animations were near indistinguishable from the actual show. Might actually have gotten away with it if his animations were nothing but OCs and it was pretty clear that this is not from the main show, but it wasn't. There was a great emphasis on the Cutie Mark Crusaders, especially Sweetie Belle. I mean, he really seems to like Sweetie Belle. I mean, for crying out loud, it was even like shipping this Sweetie Belle with Button Mesh, and Button Mesh appeared in the show, even if it was like for a few seconds. And now that I think about it, the first time I was exposed to Gen's animations was the Picture Perfect music video, and honestly, I wasn't sure whether this was fan-made or something that came from Hasbro. The line was really blurred. So you have to imagine, from Hasbro's point of view, if their targeted demographic is, you know, browsing the internet and they come across this stuff, they will have a hard time distinguishing it from, you know, fan art. And they might actually confuse it as something that comes from Hasbro. And that's exactly the kind of shit they're trying to prevent here. It is kind of fascinating though. Like, this is the first time that I witnessed a fandom that has gotten so fucking large that the ones that own the intellectual property have no choice but to cease and desist these big projects, which is of course a shame because so much work has gotten into it, but they have to. That's the sad part. If they don't don't do this, they risk losing their trademark, which would be disastrous for Hasbro. Personally, I'm really glad that I got to watch the videos that I were able to watch. I really liked the button mash videos, as in a concept. I liked that they took a background character and built this whole personality and story around it. That was really nice and really worked as an episodic format. The picture perfect animation was actually the thing that got me into, you know, watching Jen's stuff. The only thing that I didn't like about that video was the whole, quote, brony musician worship. But overall it was an extremely well made video, and once again it really made me question whether I was watching a fan production or something that came from Hasbro. Just for that I applaud Jen Animations for the efforts. And lastly there was Don't Mind at Night. Of course I liked the animation and whatnot. The subject matter was kinda iffy, like I don't really know why you would pick something like Minecraft and this focus on Sweetie Belle and button mash, but it was catchy as all fuck, and it sure was a thing that happened. Let this whole situation be a reminder to anyone, any content creators in the fandom, that were doing all this under the grace of Hasbro. To a certain extent they depend on content creators to create the buzz and create the constant reminders that the show exists. And overall Hasbro has been incredibly chillax about, you know, what we do as a fandom. On the other hand, it has gotten so big that it has to do certain things that on a more or less moral standpoint, like they appreciate the efforts, but they have to. And that's the sad reality of this whole story. I'm not exempt from this. Hasbro's actually claimed the ad revenue to Polka's Magic, and there's no real reason for me to object to this. I mean, it is their IP, and I made some money off of it. It's nice, but after all, it's their intellectual property. And if they decide to take ad revenue, that's all up to them. At least I didn't get CnD, which is great. And to Jen, I'm really sorry that this has to happen to you. I know that you put a shit ton of time into, you know, creating these animations, and just rest assured that you brought the fandom so much entertainment that you can probably not even begin to comprehend. Like, this whole button mash thing has spawned off so many fan arts of its own that it's quite amazing actually what you managed to do there. For now, you know, since you can't really go and continue making these videos, I would strongly suggest to try and come up with something of your own. Remember that you got this huge audience that's still looking at you. You may not be able to make brony videos, but you still got this audience that has gotten to know you and your animation style. Seriously, try and make your own thing and see how that works out for you. I sure as hell will be there to watch it, so you got at least one viewer there. And that concludes this episode of the Artrix Art Vlog Show. Fave and like and subscribe and plus and whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to end it now. Okay, thanks, bye.